You're live. We're live! Whoop, whoop, whoop. Good morning, party people. Welcome to your Monday yoga practice. I like to call this kind of like the second week of this craziness that we're into right now. Normally on Monday mornings, I have a great group of yogis here at All That Matters, and that's where I'm at today. Please don't forget to go to our website. There's lots of great information on our website about being in community still. I love this quote that we've always said, like, the best way to continue having a spiritual practice is to be surrounded by like-minded people. But we're going to add on the internet for this time. But today's class is a yoga, we call it Yoga 1-2, so it's all levels. I'll offer modifications for some of the poses if you feel like you're in over your head. Come into child's pose, relax. You don't really even have to do everything, right? You can do yoga in your jammies. I love this. I brought a few items from home that I have in my living room to try and fend off all the negativity that's out in the world right now, right? Ganesh. We've been talking about him a lot. He's the remover of obstacles. I have an amethyst crystal, which is really good for stress reduction. So if you have one of these in your house, put it like where you are most of the time. And then this is a selenite, which is good for health. And I just think this crystal is really pretty. My friend Amy Neild gave me this. I think she might be practicing with us today. So let's get to it. If you want to have a blanket, we are going to be doing some knee down stuff. I probably should have said that earlier. So if you want something to cushion your knees, that might be great. If you have blocks, you can use them, but you don't have to have blocks. All right, you can do this practice without blocks. One thing to remember, just be safe, honor your body. Yoga should never hurt. So if that seems to be something that's happening, back off from where you are. So let's start with taking some nice deep releasing breaths, and I love to do these at the beginning of my practice. So please bring your shoulders up around your ears, take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. You could close your eyes here too. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up around the ears, and exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, peace. Here's a great mantra. Exhale, stress. Good. Close your eyes and notice how the body feels this morning. Also, I wanted to say, if you can't hear me, you can make a comment and we'll try and adjust, or I'll speak louder. Okay, we've been having some troubles with that, so just let me know. All right, so check in. Body, right? How's the physical body feeling today? When we find ourselves in stressful situations, it often shows up in places in the body. Maybe it's your shoulders, your neck, maybe it's your low back and your hips, maybe it's somewhere else altogether. And then the mind, right? We've got a lot of distractions right now going on in the world. Can you slow your mind down a little bit? Really letting go of that idea of clearing the mind, just calming it down. Yoga chitta vritti, right? Yoga calms the fluctuations of the mind. It doesn't stop them, it calms them. And then your spirit, right? We say body, mind, spirit. What does that mean to you? It could be the sense of soul, your inner person, your inner place, or maybe it's just your energy level this morning. Put a slight smile on your face and begin to notice your breath. Feel yourself breathing in and feel yourself breathing out. If you're at all uncomfortable in your seat, and that's becoming the main part of this practice for you right now, feel free to come down onto your back. It might feel nice to take one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart, giving yourself a little hug, but also starting to connect with 3-part breathing. Breath in and out through the nose if you can today. On your in-breath, feeling the belly rise. Rib cage expand, and then the high chambers of the lungs, just below your collarbone, that's the last piece. And then shift, right? Upper lungs, mid lungs, belly releases. And let's go for a few rounds like this. This is the number one most important thing that you could do at this time. Not only is it wonderful for stress reduction, but also, right, this is a respiratory illness that we're fighting. So we're expanding our lungs, working our lungs, taking in the breath, letting go of the breath, cleansing. Let's go for about 10 more breaths. I'm just going to be quiet and let you experience your breath. And we're going to continue to breathe like this throughout our practice, but we'll add a bit of movement. And the first bit of movement that we're going to do is to move the neck. So please drop the chin towards the chest and roll your head from side to side. And try and connect these movements with your breath. Once you figure out what you're doing here, feel free to close your eyes at any time during the practice because it will help you to stay centered. But make sure you feel safe, right? Chin towards the chest on our exhale. Inhale, head comes over towards the shoulder. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Inhale, over to a shoulder. Good. Now, only if your neck gives you permission, right? If you have something going on in your neck, any stiffness, stick with these half circles. But if you wanted to take a full rotation with the head here, might feel nice to reach your chin up, opening through the front of the neck. Land the chin back in the center and then do a full rotation in the other direction. And then land the chin towards the chest. Let's interlace our fingers. We're going to bring them right to the where the skull and the vertebrae meet in the back of the head. Lift your heart, but let the weight of your arms pull your head forward slightly so you're getting right into the upper back, that spot between your shoulder blades, right? Take a breath here. And then on an inhale, lift your chin towards the ceiling, right? As we open up into a little bit of a back bend here, you're supporting your head with your hands, right? We're creating space in the back of the neck. For those of you who couldn't do a full rotation in the head, this might be the place that you'll go. All right, take a few breaths in this shape. This is such a good shape to come into because we're spending so much time on the internet these days and on our devices. So opening in the other direction. You wanted to take your bottom jaw and bring it over your top jaw. That's a good spot to come to. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. If this is too much on your shoulders, separate the hands. Right? Press the hands forward. And on your exhale, round slightly, tuck the tail. Pull the shoulder blades off the back and then inhale, rise back up. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale and round. One more time, lift up. And exhale and round. Inhale, rise both arms up. And exhale, release your hands down. Awesome. Let's come to hands and knees. So if you wanted to have your blanket underneath your knees, if your knees get tender, I know mine do sometimes, you can certainly bring the blanket here. I'm going to move the blocks to the side. You won't need them here. And if you don't have blocks, no worries. Let's take the knees nice and wide, toes towards one another, and land in a child's pose. Now, if you don't comfortably come into this position, here's some stuff you can do. You can stack your fists and rest your forehead here, or you could lift your hips up and just walk your arms a little bit further forward, right? If it's tough on the knees, the hips, whatever it may be. Find your shape. I've got Michelle Maker-Palmieri practicing with me in the room. She's my cameraman today. Those of you from radio will remember her. Michelle, can you tell me when we're at about an hour, 45 minutes?
Sure will.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot about that, having a clock. So this is a great pose to come into, just to kind of regroup, right? From child's pose, we're going to start to move our hips around a little bit. So arms out in front of you, rise up, pull the hips over to the left side, forward, and then over towards your right heel and back. And let's do a few of these with your breath. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, back. Inhale, and exhale. Good, let's take these circles in the other direction. All right, let's come to center. Tuck your toes under, stretch your feet out as you take your hips towards your heels a bit, right? Feel that shape. And then come to hands and knees. Take the tail and the crown of the head up, and on your exhale, round the spine. Inhale and exhale. All right, we're going to come into some side body opening from here, and then head into a twist that has a really nice shoulder opener as well. So please leave your right knee on the mat, and watch how my foot's coming off of the mat a bit here on the right side. Left foot lands down, and you'll have your right hand down here on the mat. Float the left arm up towards the sky. You can look up towards your left hand or keep your gaze down at the floor for stability. From here, reach your arm all the way overhead, and let's make some nice big sweeping circles with your left arm. Inhale and exhale. Switch directions. Good, and then if it feels okay for you to stack the arms and kind of take this arm back and really open up through the heart space, see what that one feels like. And then reach your arm all the way overhead towards the, I was going to say the front of the room, but I don't know where you are practicing. So towards whatever your arm reaches towards. And then let's come on up if you can. Let the left hand land on your left leg. Float the right arm up towards the sky. Nice deep breath in here, and exhale and reach over to the left. So see, this is why I said it would be nice to have something under your knee. So be on this knee for a little bit. Feel the side body open. This is great for receiving more breath, opening up the lungs, building immunity in our bodies. Good, let's come back through center. Place both hands down. Bring the knee back to center. And then float the left arm up. And I'm going to just say before we come into this one, if you want to just come into a shape like this, if it's too much on your shoulder, you could be here. Right? Otherwise, left arm floats up, and we're going to come into thread the needle from here. So in thread the needle, the outer edge of the right shoulder lands down on the mat. Your left hand could reach forward or up, or maybe even reach all the way across the body for this one. Let me take a few breaths here in the shape. Hand on the floor can be really good too, just to kind of press yourself into the pose a little bit more. Let's stay for 2 or 3 more breaths. And then wherever your right hand is, bring it back down to the mat and slowly rise up and open. Exhale, the hand comes down. Good, we're gonna switch sides. So right foot comes out. See how my left foot is coming off the mat? Left hand is in line with the left knee, and then float this right arm up. Find your breath. Good, let's make some big sweeping circles with this right arm. And reverse. And then stack your arms. You might even take your gaze up towards your right hand. And then reach the arm all the way overhead. A little more neutral with your gaze here. Feel that really big side body opening. Let's come on up. Right hand comes down, left arm floats overhead for gate pose. All right, come back up, both arms down. Right knee comes down, and then float your right arm up for thread the needle. Slide it underneath the left. Land to the outer edge of that shoulder. Left hand can stay here down on the floor, or reach out in front of you, or come up and across the body. Right, lots of options here. And when we practice together today, wherever you are, be okay with the modifications. Leave your ego at the door. Right? If you're not feeling up for doing everything that we do today, it's fine. Do what you can. That's the real practice of yoga, right? Being in your full sense of self. Whatever that looks like today. Good, let's press the left hand down into the mat. Float the right arm up. Breath in. And exhale, bring the hand down. Let's walk the arms forward. One of my favorite poses here. Puppy stretch, right? To open the heart space. Few breaths here. Good, drag the palms back. Fan your fingers out nice and wide. Tuck your toes under and lift the hips up towards the sky for downward facing dog. Now, if this pose is too much for you, on your hands or your shoulders, or anything else, pause and puppy stretch instead. And we're going to pedal out the heels. Nice length in your spine. You can certainly bend your knees here to create more length. Think about lengthening your spine. And one little alignment cue in this one too. You can come forward to plank and then back to downward facing dog. And you should not have to move your hands or feet too much. If it's a couple of inches, that's fine. Good. Let's lower down to hands and knees. I'm going to show you this next move that we're going to do, and then we'll do it together. Two options. You can do it in the modified version, which is down here, and you'll still get plenty of action happening here in the legs and the hips, and also core. So we're going to bring the knee over to the side, right, and then circle it forward. It's a figure 8 move, and the knee comes over towards your left elbow to your right elbow, and then back up. Right, circle it around towards the left elbow, right elbow, and back up. If you want more vigor, right, and this is challenging, you're really going to feel it in your core, we're going to do it from downward facing dog. So the right leg reaches up, bend the knee, take the knee forward towards the left elbow, over towards the right elbow, back up, over to the left, and a big sweeping circle here. Right, so really feel the belly. You're coming forward into like a plank pose with one leg. Come on back. One more time. And this next time, we're going to step the foot up to the hands. Now, if that feels like it's really challenging for you, just come down to table pose and move that foot up, right? So you'd be here. If you wanted to use your blocks, if you have them at home, you can, but you won't necessarily need them for this sequence. Let's land in this shape. So fingers are down on the floor, tucking the toes under on the left foot. Lengthen out through your spine, lengthen out through the back heel. Feel your lunge. Good, from here, start to straighten out your front leg and fold over it. So right, if you needed a little bit more, if you need to bring the floor up to you, your blocks could be a friend here. And then come forward into your lunge. Lengthen your spine. You might even drop your back knee a bit. Straighten out the front leg. Inhale and exhale. If there's one spot here that feels particularly juicy, and it could even be here, you can pause. Try to make sure that your knee's tracking over your ankle on the front leg. And breathe, of course. Or maybe it's here, right? Hamstring stretch. And then come back into your lunge. We're going to walk the hands to center. And if you wanted to take your blocks with you, if you have them, that's great. But once again, I know a lot of you don't have blocks at home. So hands on the floor or hands on your thighs, right? You could do either one. Turn the left toes towards the corner of the mat and extend through the right leg. And then come back through center and switch. Toes turn towards the corner of the mat. So one safety alignment cue here is to keep the knee and the foot tracking in the same direction. Good. Next time you end up over by the right side. Okay, come into this lunge. Like I said, you could be down deep, you could be up here, or there's always this one too. And if that feels like it's too much or virtually impossible for your knees to do. Sometimes I feel like I have to call the fire department to get out of that one. You can stay in that one too. A couple more breaths. And then let's walk the hands to frame the front foot. Step back to either table position or downward facing dog. Right, lengthen your spine. Take a moment to notice the difference in your two sides. Find the breath. All right, so other side is coming. You can drop down to hands and knees if you wish. Otherwise, reach the left leg back and up. Bend the knee and stack the hip. Let's take this knee forward, coming into this plank pose. Knee comes towards the right elbow to the left elbow and back up. Right? Right elbow, left elbow, and back up. One more time, it's that figure 8 motion. Good, now from here we're going to step the foot up to the hands. Make sure the knee's tracking over your ankle, so if it only lands here, grab it, move it forward. Coming into this shape first. Lengthen your spine, look forward slightly. And then fold forward over the front leg. Back and forth with breath. Inhale and exhale. If you find one spot that feels really juicy, if you want to pause, maybe this spot, maybe here, or even with the legs straight, pause. It's not necessarily straight, right? There's a little bend in the knee, maybe a big bend in the knee if your hamstrings are tight. Good, and then let's walk the hands back to neutral. Turn the toes towards the corner of the mat. I don't know if you can hear me when I'm backwards to you, but I'll talk upside down. This is a nice look. Hi, everybody. You know, after you reach 50, you just don't give a crap anymore. Come back through center, side lunges. And then let's come towards the left side and really feel this opening happening here in the left. Remember, you can come up high instead, or there's that really low version where the toes come up. Couple breaths, wherever you are. I'm not a lover of that one, on this side especially. All right. Walk the hands to frame the front foot. Step it back. Downward facing dog or child's pose. Right? Either one is fine. Find your pose, find your breath. We're going to walk our feet up to our hands and end up at the top of the mat for some standing sequences. All right, so you might transition to down dog, walk the feet forward, bend your knees and lift up halfway with as flat of a back as you can keep, so tail to the crown gets really long. Right, knees can bend here. This is the safest way to forward fold, especially if you have any low back issues going on. Sometimes it's nice to move the sacrum a little bit like this, right? Move your hip bones around. Inhale and exhale and fold. Keep breathing. Let's root down into the earth and rise up to standing. Float the arms up overhead and exhale. Hands to the heart space. Find your breath in standing pose. And let's go through a couple of rounds of the classical sun salutation today. Inhale, rise those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway rise. Bend down and touch. Step your right foot back and into a lunge. Left foot comes back into downward facing dog. From here, float forward to plank. Take a breath in. Really feel the legs and the belly engage. You do this with your knees down or on your forearms as well. Take a breath in. Exhale, it's a slow lower. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen out through the feet. Lift up. Maybe it's just a baby cobra this time. Be mindful of your low back here. Don't go fast. Go slow. Listen. Right? If you want to press into the hands and rise up higher, you can. Exhale. All right, next pose is either downward facing dog or it could be an extended child's pose. So you could pause here or here. Good. Float your right leg up towards the sky here. And you can do this from table too. We're going to bend the knee. Using our core, like we did before in those figure eights, pull the knee in close to the body and then step it through. If it only lands here, grab it and move it forward till the knee tracks over the ankle. Press out through your back heel, lengthen your spine. Then bend the back knee and step it forward. Rise halfway and fold. Root down, rise up. Heart space. Take a resting breath. Other side. Inhale. This time we're going to come up a little higher as an option, right? You don't have to do this. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bend down and touch. Left foot comes back, so make sure you're not on a tightrope here. You can stay right in this position or pick the hands up off of the mat and rise up into crescent toed warrior. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale, land the hands. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Either lowering down like a push-up or for safety reasons, knees first. Use those arms, use your core. Lower down. Shoulders away from the ears. As we lift and lengthen, baby cobra or higher up. Exhale. Inhale here. Let the exhale lift you back towards an extended child's pose or downward facing dog. Left leg floats up. Bend the knee. Bring it in real close. You can do this from table, right? So here's what it looks like from table. Step forward. Make sure you're not on a tightrope with your feet. Begin to bring some of the weight into this front leg as you float the arms up. Crescent toe it. Little bend in the back knee, lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale. This time the back foot comes forward. Rise halfway in the in-breath and fold. Root down and rise up. Let the hands come to the heart, one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Now if that was really hard to do those flows like that, you can watch the video later today, which is kind of neat about these Facebook Live videos, and just slow it down. Go with the modifications. Right? Remember, you should be breathing with each move, not feeling sort of winded. I got a clock over here too, I just noticed. Awesome. I noticed my neighbor, Jody Brock, her kids were doing Breath of Joy on a video with Mel the other day, and I thought, oh, what a great thing to do right now. Breath of Joy, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but we're gonna have a little bit of a wider stance, and this is the way that I like to do it. So it's 3 inhales through the nose and an exhale out the mouth as you fold forward. All right, so it's really great for energizing. I don't know about you, but I can get into this mode like when I don't have to go to work, or I'm like, geez, I haven't taken a shower in 3 days and I'm still wearing my jammies, you know? And sometimes it just feels good to like put some clothes on, put on a little mascara, you know, like be in the world again, right? That other stuff is great too, but Breath of Joy will kind of wake you up if you're feeling like you're getting a little groggy, or if you're starting to get depressed too. This is a good one. All right, so here's how it goes. We're inhale, 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 soft knees, right? Exhale, ha. So it's ha. And you have to smile when you're doing this. Ha. 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 One more. Ha! Good, let the arms stop swinging. Also really good for your nasal passages. Why is it that we always want to do this when that is over? It's so true. Standing, swinging, twist, or empty coat sleeves, right? So your arms could be down low, they can be up high. If you wanted to add on a little hara breath here, right? So it's in through the nose and ha! 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 Really work on the inhale here. Like get as much breath as you can in. Inhale. Ha! 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 And then slowly unwind. Ah, your arms. See, you feel all woken up and happy again? I hope. Let's take a wide stance and just pause for a moment. Feel the energy of those two pratapana moves. Right? It's like your body feels more sparkly when you do those. Right? You might take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Slow the breath down. Remember, 3-part breath, right? Belly, rib cage, heart, rib cage, belly. Good. Let's turn the toes out towards the corners of the mat. Bring your hands onto your legs and settle down into a squat. I always kind of feel like a sumo wrestler when I do this, but I go from side to side. To try and not grip through the toes, I tend to kind of collapse through my arches, so I'm always struggling with that. Right, so coming from side to side, you may have some other funky stuff that happens with your feet or your knees. Make sure the knees are tracking as much over the ankles as you possibly can. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, goddess pose. We should all be really good at this point. Goddesses. Go ahead, release the pose. Bring your arms down. Let's turn the right foot out. Pick your left heel up and place it down. We're setting up for warrior two pose. Float the arms up overhead. See if you can stack your hands, your shoulders, and your hips right on top of one another. Right, take a breath here. On your exhale, here comes your warrior. Right, we need these. These are fierce poses for strength, stability. Build a pose from the ground up, right? Really feel your feet underneath you. Knees tracking over the ankle. On this front leg, lift the pelvic floor slightly so you're nice and tall. Notice your shoulders. You turn the palms up instead of down, just to relax your shoulders. Good, let's take the left arm and bring it forward. On an exhale, pull the bow back. Inhale, sweep your arm up, a big sweeping circle, and then land. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep. And land. One more time here. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep. And land. Right, my hope is that you get your mind off of what's going on in your legs there. Reach the right arm up as the right side body stretches to the side. And then sink back into your lunge if you've come out of it. You might stay in it. And then let the left arm float overhead. Come back and forth with breath a few times. Inhale. Exhale. You know, if you're breathing in the opposite direction, it's really not a big deal. Just find your breath and move with it. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's come on up. We're going to straighten out this front leg a little bit, and we're going to bring our heels, heel toe your feet just a slight bit closer together for triangle pose. Right? Maybe you keep them in the wide stance, that's fine too, but if you find that you come into this posture and you feel unstable, right, bring the feet a little closer together. Reach the right arm up. Let's take this right hand and bring it towards our right shoulder blade here. So you guys will go like this, right? We're going to take our left hand and bring it to the elbow. And reach this arm towards the back of your mat. So we're holding onto the elbow and pulling it back. I don't know if I said that right. Start to come forward over this front leg. You're keeping the front leg as straight as possible. And then land the right hand down, left arm up. If this bothers your shoulder or your low back, keep the hand on the low back and look down. That's a fine place to be. Triangle pose is such a great posture for right now, right? Our twists are wringing out all our internal organs, but we're also opening up the space around the lungs to receive more breath. Good. Rise up. Let the hands come to the heart. If you need to shake your legs out or pause in between the two sides, it's totally fine. Okay, let's go to the left. Left foot, warrior two. So turn the left foot forward, knees tracking right over the ankle. Back heel, you can lift it up and then place it down. Could have heel to heel or heel to arch, or maybe even a little wider if it feels like this back hip is having a hard time coming into the pose. Reach arms up overhead, inhale, and exhale, Vira two. Right, once again, start down at the feet, right? Really pay attention to the physical body here. Notice that the knees tracking over the ankle. Lift the pelvic floor slightly to lengthen your spine and relax your shoulders. Right hand comes forward and then pulls the bow back. Sweep and land. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep and land. One more time here, guys. You got this. Hand comes down the back leg as you reach this left arm up, and we'll go from side to side a few times. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And then come on up. You might heel toe your feet a little bit closer for triangle pose. Left hand comes towards the left shoulder blade. If you can skip this part and have the arm long too. Grabbing your elbow, pull back as you lengthen through your side body. Really open up the rib cage. Right, we want to keep our lungs as big and subtle as possible. Right. Start to come forward. Reach, reach, reach. And then let the arms float into a T position. Or right hand lands on the low back and you look down. Full poses here. 5 breaths. Rise up, feet forward or toes slightly turned in. Let's see if we can interlace our fingers behind the back, right? If this doesn't work for you, you could even grab like your socks and have them in between your hands to create a little more space, right? Inhale, pull the knuckles down, open your heart, reach the chin towards the ceiling. On an exhale, fold forward, letting the arms come up off of our backs. Feel the breath. You might lift your left shoulder up and then your right shoulder up. And then go ahead and release your hands down. You could take a downward facing dog pose from here, reaching your arms forward, fingertips are on the mat. Lengthen your spine. And then let the hands come to neutral, right in the center. And fold forward. Relax your head and neck. Right, any forward folding positions like this, really good for calming down the mind, slowing down the breath, and reversing the flow of lymph, which is really important when it comes to immunity. Here, start to bring your hands down to the earth, and if you wanted to just kind of transition down to the floor, come up to standing and then come down to the floor, that's fine. If you want to join me in a little bit of a flow here, walking the hands to frame your right foot, let's step back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, plank. Couple breaths here, really feel your plank. All right, we need to be strong during this time. Thighs are engaged. You can watch for this, right? Hips up or hips too low, right? You want to be right in the middle, really strong. And then either knees down first or like a push-up all the way to the earth. Bring the hands down by the sides of your body. Lengthen out through one leg and then the other. And then from here, lift everything up. Five breaths, Shavasana, the Locust pose. Remember, belly, rib cage, hearts. And then let's take it down. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back towards child's pose. Take a moment here in child's pose to notice the difference between this posture when you did it in the beginning of class and how it feels now. You might rock your head from side to side. And this we call our third eye. As yogis, we believe we have three eyes, right? There's two that look out at all times, and then there's one that's looking in at all times. So yes, are we going to lose it once in a while during this time? Probably. But you have to try and see the light, right? And there is always going to be darkness and light in your life. But just looking for finding that positivity. I think when we come out of this in the end, we're going to learn some really neat stuff. I went for a hike yesterday. I saw tons of families out in the wilderness hiking. I was like, you never see this, you know? So maybe there's a silver lining. I don't know. It's hard to see. All right, let's rise up. Bring your hips over to one side and bring your legs out in front of you. Hands behind you. Let's just rock the knees a bit from side to side. We're going to come down into our backs to finish our practice. And then it can be nice to come down onto your forearms here as you rock the knees from side to side. How's my cameraman doing?
I'm feeling good.
Michelle's doing a ton of yoga this week because she's filming everybody's classes.
Yoga class.
You're probably the healthiest person on the planet right now. And then come on down. Rock the knees from side to side again. Seriously, guys, just putting a smile on your face once in a while. You know, they say if you even fake a smile, it can make you feel better. Good. Let's bring our feet in towards the bum a little bit. Take a moment to look up and see where your hip bones are, like the hip bones in the front of your body, and track your knees right in line with them. Do a couple of rolling bridges from here. So fan your toes out. See if you can press into the floor with your feet. If this is too much on your low back, you could just do a pelvic tilt too. Press down, rise up, and then come on down. Lower the spine down. One vertebra at a time, really mindfully. Right? So the word mindfulness, it means basically just doing one thing at a time. So as you do these rolling bridges, you're really focusing. Let's feel all the vertebrae. Oh, the upper back, the mid back, tucking the tail so you touch the low back down. Then there's the natural curve of the spine. Would it be nice for you to add the arms? Reach the arms up. And then coming down. The next time that we lower down, come all the way down, let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. Supine pigeon pose. Right, so you can press this leg forward and stay right in this shape. If you want more vigor from this one, the hands come behind your left leg or to the outside of the left calf. If you're really straining through the neck and the shoulders and the head's up off of the ground here, you can come down a little bit and find a more comfortable version of this shape. Maybe it's here. You could put a strap or your socks or something to create a little bit more space for your arms behind the leg too. Rock a bit from side to side. You might close your eyes here, right? So we're heading down. We're heading towards relaxation. Don't skip this part. I know my life at home, sometimes it can be like, yeah, I'm not going to do shavasana. I'm going to go do laundry or something. Don't skip it. We really need it right now. Good, and then lower the left foot down. Bring the right foot down to the earth. Lift the hips up. And then place them down. Left ankle crossing over right knee. You can either stay here, might be a whole different ballgame on this side. Or when and if you're ready, the right knee comes in and we're really stretching out our hips for supine pigeon pose. Make sure your breath is still with you, right? Nice deep breaths here. And then lower the foot down. Both feet come down. Lift the hips up just a little bit and then place them down. We're going to lift both knees up for a knee down twist. All right, so take your knees and drop them over to the right. If the left arm gives you permission to extend, you can look over your left shoulder. Right, if this is way too much for you to be in this shape where your arm's like hanging out in the air like this, just bring the arm onto your side and imagine this right shoulder is coming down towards the earth. It doesn't ever have to touch, right? But just feel that twisting action. See if you can relax your knees down. Right, those nice deep full body breaths here. When we breathe in 3 parts, it massages our nervous system and slows things down. It's really one of the healthiest things you can do right now is to find your breath. Let's look up towards the ceiling. Bring the knees back through center. Maybe a little squat or a half happy baby in the middle, or a full happy baby, I should say. Happy baby's another fun pose, right? Smile when you do it. And then let's let the knees come over to the other side. Arm extends. You can look to the right if that feels comfortable on your neck. And then come back to center. So guys, I'm going to offer you a few different options for relaxation today. You can come into typical shavasana, just corpse pose, laying down. Michelle, I'm going to ask you a favor. Can you bring me that chair over there? Of course. Thank you. We really need to say thank you to Michelle and some of the other girls who are, I'm going to put my legs on it. Some of the other girls who are staying here and keeping all that matters in our community together. So I wanted to show you this one, right? So if you're in your living room, you can put your legs, thank you, hon. You can put your legs up. I should have got it before, but you can put your legs up on a chair like this or on your sofa, right? And you're laying this direction. So you've got a little bit of an inversion going on. There's this option too. If you have a nice hunk of wall, right? I love this one. And you might want to put your mat over there, put a blanket underneath you, whatever works for you. It's legs up the wall. So here's how I usually get into this one. And let me just tell you, it's very glamorous, right? Bringing the side of your hip to the wall like this, right? And then legs up. And that's it, right? These are some of the healthiest things you can do for your body, believe it or not. We've got everything flowing in the opposite direction, flushing out lymph, calming the mind, right? So everything's heading towards your head here. You could even put a prop underneath your hips if you wanted to. Arms down by your side and relax. So any of those options, let's come into relaxation. Close your eyes. You might start with connecting to your breath. I know some of you are skipping shavasana. You're in big trouble. See if you can relax your physical body, whichever shape you're in. Relax the muscles of your face, even your jaw, right? Make sure that the teeth in the back of your mouth are not touching right now. There's some space in between them. Let's all take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth and release. Just give it a ha. These are so good to do all the time. 2 more times. Big breath in. Even if you wanted to contract the muscles of your body and then release. One more time. Breath in and release. So we're going to stay here in relaxation for 5 or 6 minutes. Go deep inside. If the mind is really chatty today, see if you can notice the spaces in between your thoughts. Notice if there's anything in your physical body that you're still holding tension in, and let it go. Send a breath there. It might be hard, but try. Keep coming back. Relax. Before you begin to move your physical body, notice how you feel right now in this space at the end of your yoga practice. Even if you only had one moment of clarity during this hour-long practice, it's so beneficial. Right? That's why we call it a practice. It's coming to your mat and trying. Please notice the space around your heart. You might even touch it. Know that kindness is one of the biggest tools that we can have to make it through this time. Kindness resides here in the heart. And then imagine from your heart that there's an extension cord going up to the third eye, right in the middle of the forehead, your brain, right? So when you have thoughts, when you move through this time, could you move from a place in your heart, a place of kindness? Let a slight smile come onto your face. And then start to move in whatever way feels good. A wiggle of the fingers, a wiggle of the toes. Maybe it's reaching your arms out overhead or even pulling your knees into the chest. You might roll over to your side for a moment. Maybe fluttering the eyes open. And then please join me in seated position. A couple of things I just wanted to share with you this morning. I loved, guys, if you've been practicing yoga for a while, you've probably heard about the Yoga Sutras. So this is an ancient text, and it's basically the yogi's path on how to live a more meaningful and joyful life. But I was looking at the yamas this morning, right? So the yamas are the first stage, and they are moral restraints. They are, listen to these words, kindness, truthfulness, non-stealing, moderation, and get this one, non-hoarding. Right? How perfect are these 5 things for our current situation? I also read a great quote from Deepak Chopra this morning, and he says that a great way to access grace in any situation is to ask yourself this question: how can I be helpful? Right? Good stuff. Thank you so much for practicing with me and staying in community here at All That Matters. We have a really great, vibrant community. Anything you can do to help us keep going, please do it. Go to our Facebook page, go to our website. Thanks to everybody who's been coming out and teaching classes and getting on your mat. I mean, it's so important. Keep doing your yoga, keep doing your meditation. Take a deep breath in with me. And on our exhale, let's bow. Namaste. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. Michelle, thank you for coming out today and practicing with me.
Thank you for the yoga, Amy.
Do we have to do something now, did you say?
Why don't we do a little shout out to the folks
Shout
who've
out,
been
all right.
commenting and watching. Here we go. Lots of hearts, floating hearts.
Good.
Karen Powers, thank you, Amy.
Karen
Great
Powers.
Class. Cindy, a long name. I'm so sorry. Marcus. I'm sorry, Cindy. Thank you, Amy. Namaste. Robin Souza, thank you. Pam, who's in PYTT.
Nice.
Loved this. Thank you for doing this. Dina Bugasian, namaste. Thank you. Let's see. Jen Thomas was watching. Emma McCool, loved this. My favorite. Legs up the wall. Emma with the coolest name. Rachel Marinelli, thank you. ATM and Amy. Sarah Lynn Tucker, I love that you're showing us how to use the blocks. Thank you for this. Julia Greenberg, so many people. Candy, lots of hearts.
Oh, I love Candy.
Midge, thank you. Amy,
Hi,
Audrey Liberty, Joni's watching.
Nice.
Michael, some guys on here. This is great. And comments about the volume. We are working on that. We've ordered a little lavalier mic. It seems deliveries are a little on pause, so we are working on
Were they able to hear me
Just
today?
one person
Just one
commented.
person.
Yeah.
I found with this on my computer, I'm having a hard time hearing the
Right.
classes because I think I have a crappy little speaker.
Yeah.
But on my phone, I could hear them much better. So
Okay.
that's a little tip.
That's good.
And someone else said you could also connect your phone to a Bluetooth speaker.
Yes, that's a great idea too. So, yeah, some great folks out here. So,
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you so much. And we'll have classes. Are we having class tonight or tomorrow? When's the next
stay
one?
tuned. Definitely tomorrow. We
Okay.
may have a pop-up one tonight, so we'll let you know.
Awesome. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much.